Good morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. All right, on today's show, it is Tuesday, January 18th, and I want to welcome you to the show, of course. And we are here live on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube. By the way, my Twitter handle is @LarrySteinhouse, and you can find me on Facebook, TikTok, and other social media by searching for Larry Steinhouse. Just a reminder, also, if you're watching online, hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to leave comments. Say hello. Hey, Bill, thanks for watching. I see you watching out there. Thank you so much. I totally appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. And, of course, you can comment live during the show. All right, Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling. And you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com. And there you will learn about real estate investing, stock options trading, and you will learn it from those who do it every day. Hey, Joe, thanks a lot Joe's checking in on me. He says I sound much better. I no longer have my scary Omicron variant. Oh! Hey, Charles, thank you so much for watching as well. All right, on today's show, we'll be discussing the futures update. We'll be discussing Novik Djokovic. We'll be talking about free masks. We'll be talking about Arizona COVID funds, Ford and Stripe, private student loans canceled, and, of course, minimum wage. All right, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. So yesterday, as you know, the market was closed. It was Martin Luther King Day. And on Friday, we didn't have a great day. The Dow closed down about 200 points. The S&P and NASDAQ did close up. They closed up slightly. Now, this weekend, though, I'm going to tell you, I was monitoring the bond rate, and I saw it hit just over 1.83, and I was worried. I knew it right away. I was actually saying yesterday in the mastermind that the market's going to tank today, and sure enough, here it comes. And here you go. So here you go. So the NASDAQ is basically going to take a big hit today. And right now, just so you know, the ugly numbers, the Dow is down 223 points, the S&P is down 44, almost 45, and the NASDAQ is down almost 250. The NASDAQ was down earlier. It was down over 300, so it was a bit rough. Hey, I want to say hello to Charles and Stuart and Jane and Tom. Thank you guys for listening, and I appreciate you guys leaving comments. And, of course, Wendy. Hey, Wendy, thanks so much. All right, let's talk about Novik Djokovic. All right, if you have not heard about the tennis player Novik Djokovic and his trials and tribulation as he tries to play tennis in the Nazi-controlled Australia, you'll want to listen up. Now, look, I'm going to tell you that I'm not much of a tennis fan, so up until now, I really never heard of this guy anyway. Djokovic was scheduled to play on the Australian Open. He represents Serbia, and he's been in the Olympics, he's won awards, he's been instrumental in the formation of the president of the Professional Tennis Players Association, and he's even a philanthropist who helped preschoolers in underprivileged countries get an education. The guy's a really cool guy, right? Anyway, well, as many of the people concerned with how the COVID vaccine may affect him, he has chosen not to get vaccinated. He's heard that athletes are dying after they get vaccinated, so he's concerned. It's put him in a really tough situation with Australia, where he's scheduled to play, or was scheduled to play in the Australian Open. In other words, Australia has a country that says, papers, please, you cannot come here unless you like us. So you must do your papers, please, unless you must be vaccinated. Do it now. Ugh. I wonder if anyone read history books anymore. Really, seriously. For more information on countries like these views, including our cities like New York, Philadelphia, and now Washington, D.C. with these views, just look up their hero and mentor, Adolf Hitler, and you'll understand what's going on. I'm going to get to the part where Djokovic was actually put in a concentration camp as I continue with the story, but first let me tell you about how he got into the country without a vaccine. So he had applied for a visa and stated that he was not vaccinated. So he told him he wasn't vaccinated. However, he did state that he had COVID in December, and that gave him, natural immunity. Natural immunity? Is that legal anymore? Is that like one of those words you're not allowed to use anymore? I don't know. Anyway, what a concept. Anyway, he also took COVID tests before he left and when he arrived, and they were all negative. When he arrived in Melbourne, he was immediately put into a room in solitary confinement after he was stripped of all his belongings and detained for 8 hours before being moved to a detention facility, or in other words, a concentration camp. Ugh. Yes, this detention facility was a hotel. However, this hotel, or former hotel, is being used for detaining criminals and now, of course, tennis stars who believe in medical freedom. His legal team fought the visa issue and actually won. Now the government became angry and said he would cause unrest if he was allowed to play, so we need to kick his healthy ass out of the country to prevent other people from speaking up about, Nazi-type vaccine mandates. Well, after he was freed, he was rounded up again and was now officially deported. He cannot and will not play in the Australian Open. To many, this guy is a scoundrel. Matter of fact, I had an argument with a radio host this weekend about this. How dare he try to use logic, rules, and freedom as a defense against Nazism? To me, he's a hero. He is a modern-day, Rosa Parks. Now, hopefully, he didn't forfeit his title in vain. Maybe, just maybe, the Australian people will rise up against the tyranny and become free again. Here, in what used to be America, of course, we now, as I said before, we have Washington, D.C. added to the Nazi regime as they prepare to ask for vaccine passports for everything from dining to entertainment. I don't even think you can enter a supermarket anymore without a passport. And this is how it starts, folks. It doesn't start with killing 6 million innocent people. It ends with killing 6 million innocent people. Stand up to the Nazi regimes and don't allow them to bully you into papers, please. Ugh, unbelievable. Just what's going on in this country is just amazing. All right, let's talk about free masks. Just when you thought the Biden administration couldn't get any dumber, they meet the challenge again. I think I say this every week. Whether you believe masks work or don't work, spoiler alert, they don't, and I proved it. And if you don't believe me, go to a website called followtherealscience.com, and you will see that they do not work. But even if you still believe they work, up until now, the CDC and the rest of the lying experts have all said all masks matter. Well, apparently, like other cool slogans that sound like all masks matter, they really don't unless you have a political agenda. Well, the brain-dead Biden administration clearly has a political agenda because President Poopy Pants is clearly the worst president this country has ever had. By the way, someone finally beat Jimmy Carter. That's awesome. President Poopy Pants has to try to do something now to win over the American public to try to increase his abysmal approval ratings, especially on COVID management. So what does he do? He announces that he's going to send every American a package of 3 N95 masks. Wow! How generous of him. So wait, what happens after I change my mask 3 times in one day? What do I wear tomorrow, you freaking idiot? Don't tell me that you, President Braindead, are wearing the same mask every day. Oh wait, maybe you are. That would explain the brain deterioration you're obviously showing signs of whenever you speak. On the other hand, you math-ignorant fool, there are almost 330 million people in America. Do you actually have 900 million masks ready to ship? Do you have the cooperation of the post office? The post office who recently said that it takes at least 5 days to deliver first-class mail? When are they going out? I know. They'll be shipped along with my free COVID test sometime at the end of the summer to get us ready for the next variant you and your manipulative devil-worshipping minion will be releasing to help win the midterms. Well, Braindead and the head of the ghouls and the head ghoul Pelosi, the American people are on to you now. We don't need your stinking virtue signal gift of a cheap mask. By the way, I wonder if it'll be made in China. It probably will be. It might even have the next variant embedded into it to assure us that we can have mail-in voter fraud again. Ugh, I'm becoming such a conspiracy theorist. But anyway, I can't wait to get mine. I'm going to burn it on a Facebook Live event while I test an orange, a banana, and a grapefruit for COVID with my free at-home COVID test. I'll bet they'll all come up positive. All right, let's talk about Arizona school funds. Here's a story from the Let's Go Brandon files. Apparently, Arizona, like other states, has received COVID emergency funds from the federal government. Basically, the money was supposed to be used to mitigate the fiscal effects stemming from COVID-19 public health emergency, or actually, if you want to call it government overreach, including supporting efforts to stop the spread of the virus, according to the Treasury Department. Well, because Arizona believes in the Constitution and believes that children should not be abused by making them wear a mask, the Gestapo Joe administration wants to pull the funds unless the Arizona government, Doug Ducey, changes his policy and, ready for this, forces child abuse by making the children wear a mask. The program rules say it's available only to families if the student, current, or prior school requires the use of face coverings during the school day. This was in a letter to the governor saying why they may pull the funds. So basically, the funds are only for those who wear the Nazi symbol. You know, the one that used to be on the arm and is now across their faces. Can you tell I'm basically pretty fired up about this? Well, will this nonsense ever end? The Supreme Leader, Gestapo Joe, doesn't care about the families he screwed over with the COVID government overreach. He only cares about the forced masks and vaccines so he and his minions can make money off the companies selling this crap. Well, personally, I hope the governor does not back down, and if he needs to send the money back, he should send it in large bills with attached pictures of all the children that brain-dead Biden just screwed over. He should also have all the children blow on the bills in a Facebook video before he sends it back. All right, let's take a commercial, and we'll see you in a couple of seconds.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse, and if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Hey, I want to thank you all for listening on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia, and if you're watching online, please hit that share button so you can help your friends learn about how to make more money and have them laugh, of course, right? Hit that like button, let me know you enjoyed the show. And you can also leave comments on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube, and I'll even try to respond to them. Hey, I want to say hi to Mick, and I want to say hi to Carrie and Jose. Thank you all. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for watching, and I appreciate you guys leaving the comments. So far, we have been discussing, of course, the futures update, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a good day at all. We have the Dow down 287, we have the S&P down 49, and the NASDAQ is down 258. We talked about Novik Djokovic, who's been basically was put in a concentration camp and then deported. We talked about brain-dead Biden and his free mask campaign. When is he going to actually be a president? All right, we talked about the COVID funds in Arizona being reversed because they're not forcing their children to be abused by wearing masks. All right, we got coming up, we got Ford and Stripe, we got private student loans canceled, and we have a conversation about minimum wage. And of course, today's picks and plays. But first, did you hit that like button? Come on, Carrie, hit that like button. Come on, Mick, hit that like button, hit that share button. Hit that share button, guys, online. And don't forget to leave comments on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. And of course, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure and set a preset to the station and listen every day at 7:30. Also, when you get home, look up Money Chat Now and also connect to us online. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about Ford and Stripe. All right, as a consumer, you may not have heard of a company called Stripe, but as a business owner, Stripe was really a disruptor to the fee-based credit card processing systems of the past. For those who don't know, if a business accepts credit cards, a percentage of the transaction is charged to the business owner as basically a fee to the card processor. Most major card processors also charge a monthly fee and even a transaction fee on top of the percentage. So Stripe was one of the companies who ended the fee-based system and charged a percentage only. And basically that means if you didn't have any charges in a month, it would cost you basically nothing. So Stripe was also instrumental in creating a system that allowed many of the online companies to easily connect to their system and allow for payments over the internet. In fact, as a business owner, I use Stripe to process probably more than $1 million per year in transactions, and I'll tell you, it's fantastic. It's really smooth. Well, Ford is realizing that the Tesla model of selling cars, and that is buying the car or at least putting a deposit on a car, should be something that consumers should be able to do online with their website. So Ford has decided to use Stripe as their online processor for their transactions. So now it's actually a really great play for Stripe. Now, and also a great play for Ford too. But in case you're wondering, Stripe is not a public company, so you can't play this stock on the news. This probably would have rocked the stock. They continuously tease the market that they're going to go public and then decide not to. Now, here's my guess. My guess is they're waiting for a buyout from maybe a larger processor like PayPal or Cube. But either way, it's going to be a great play for both Ford and Stripe. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to play out in the future. I've said this before, I think cars are going to be sold on Amazon, and it's going to make car buying totally different. Let's talk about student loans. All right, this is another story from the hypocrisy files. We all know about the current student loan crisis. You know, the crisis where your children were told that if they don't borrow tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars from the government with no plan to pay it back, they won't be able to get a job. Well, we all know the truth is that these loans are the most predatory loans ever created, and in my opinion, should be illegal. The Guaranteed Student Loan Program is the most predatory of all. This guarantee, backed by the government and government law, guarantees that the lender will get paid back and the borrower can never cancel these loans through hardship or bankruptcy. In a nutshell, you lend money to an 18-year-old who knows nothing about money, interest, or how to budget, and then you make him or her sign papers that say that they are now an indentured servant for the rest of their lives. Well, a couple of decades ago, there was a loan program called Sallie Mae. You guys may have remembered it. It was similar in every way and aspect, but it was a private loan. That meant that the lender could lose if the borrower didn't pay it back, so the interest rates were a little higher. It could be canceled by bankruptcy, and it was treated like a normal loan. Wow, what a concept. Well, guess what the thieving government did? They actually sued this government. They actually sued this company, which is now called Navient, to cancel 66,000 loans in which the government had the nerve to call predatory. Oh, the hypocrisy of it all. How dare they stick their hands in, how dare Navient stick their hands in our cookie jar is basically what the government said. Well, Navient had decided they probably weren't going to get paid back anyway, decided that legal fees to fight this hypocrisy was probably going to be too much, and they'd probably lose anyway, so they decided to settle and cancel the 66,000 loans for a total of $1.8 billion. And they also agreed, check this out, they agreed to pay a fine. That's right, they paid a fine to the government of $145 million. Please understand, I seriously don't care that this company had to settle this lawsuit. I'm just amazed at how the government is allowed to run a criminal enterprise and a publicly run company like Navient gets sued and blackmailed into settling a case when the government is doing the exact same thing that this company was doing it and no one questions it. Have you guys seen Don't Look Up? That's a perfect example of that movie. Let's talk about minimum wage. We want $15 an hour. We want $15 an hour. We want $15 an hour. Do you remember those chants? How about the picketing and the demands from people like Bernie Sanders demanding $15 an hour as a living wage? Well, all the people who understand math and economics, we knew this wasn't going to work. Oh yeah, they're going to get their $15 an hour, but of course with the brain dead administration causing runaway inflation, guess what? $15 an hour isn't enough anymore. So many states like California have gone to the minimum wage of $15 an hour as of January 1st. And now the chants are you ready? $18 an hour. We want $18 an hour. We want $18 an hour. The ironic part is the fact that even fast food companies are offering more than $15 an hour just to get employees in this time of an employee shortage. By the way, did you notice that French fries at McDonald's are now over $3 for a medium fry? So yes, the companies pay you more money, charge their customers more money, and then you still pay more for everything anyway. I don't understand. Why is math so hard for liberals? If you really want to know how to make more money and become inflation-proof, you want to watch this commercial and you want to learn from investor schooling and no longer have these problems. We will see you in a minute.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. And of course, you get to meet me on Thursday. So come on by and you'll get to meet me. So far we've been discussing the futures update. The Dow is down 290 points. The S&P is down 48 and the NASDAQ is down 252. Ugh. We talked about Novik Djokovic, who was basically treated like, I don't know, like a criminal. We talked about brain-dead Biden and his free mask campaign. We talked about Arizona and their COVID funds possibly being taken back because they won't force child abuse. We talked about Ford and Stripe, and we talked about private student loans being canceled because the government doesn't want people doing what they do. It's unbelievable. All right, coming up is today's picks and plays. But first, did you guys hit that like button? Did you hit that share button yet? Let everyone know what great stocks plays are coming by sharing this information. And you could share on your page or in groups that you feel will help from great stock plays. So share it in groups. Share it everywhere. Let people know you watch the show. We got more and more watchers every single day. And we want to add to it because it's fun. It's fun to watch this show. And don't forget, of course, to leave comments. Hey, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about politics, behind the stock market, and at the same time, I'm sure you'll have a little bit of laugh as you drive into work. All right, let's talk about some great tips for the day. Can you feel the pain of today already? Ooh, you will if you're in the stock market. The bond rate is over 1.8% as the bond market prepares for the Fed to increase interest rates. Look, this is going to cause the tech stocks to crash today. You know, the investors are usually looking for safety in stocks like Apple, but the bond market is becoming a safer haven for investors because the rate's so high. So so basically what's happening is like flies attracted to light, the investors are moving their money to bonds. I assure you this is temporary, but it'll cause some short-term pain. Pretty bad today, and I'm even expecting tomorrow, maybe a little bit, but a bounce back by tomorrow afternoon. Now, I did expect the bond market to drop a little as investors move their money into earnings plays, but it didn't happen yet. So it may take a little while. It may happen by the end of this week. I don't know. I also expect the bond market to level off between 1.5 and 1.75, and then by mid-year level off to about 2.0 to 2.5%. And, we're going to have some pain this year, But, like, I'll be honest with you, as a stock options trader, the volatility will be welcome. We'll do really well as stock option traders, so that'd be great. So take advantage of it today. Buy anything with earnings in the next 3 weeks. Buy the dips and hold the course. There are going to be some great plays today. There's so many of them, I can't even list them. That's how many you are. You want to definitely be involved in that. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on the crypto scene. So crypto isn't feeling as much pain as the stocks, but they are down. Bitcoin is hovering at about, I don't know, maybe about 42,000. And Ether is hovering at around 3150. And I've been watching these, and I'm going to suggest if you really want to get in, and again, these are crazy plays. These are risk plays. Definitely risk. You're definitely risking money putting into these things because there's no real rhyme or reason to the way that they go up and down. But if you really want to get in, I would get in between 10 and 15% drop from here. Now, gold and silver is also being pretty boring at the moment. I'm a big fan of gold and silver, and I told you I like to buy the physical gold and silver. Buy the physical gold and silver, get a safe deposit box, put it away, and know that you have it, because eventually it's going to come back pretty strong. And there are other reasons to have it, such as, I always say in cases of zombie apocalypse, you have gold and silver, and that'll be the only currency because your internet will be down, your Bitcoin won't work, and most likely your other money won't be available. Let's talk a little bit about the Treasury bond. Let me tell you exactly what it's doing right now. So it's at 1.813. Ugh. We got to get it below 1.75, and things are going to start to come back. By the way, if you're watching online, let me know if you made any money with the advice given on this show. Hey, let me know if you played any of the plays we talked about. We talked about Meta last week and AAL. We talked about CCL. We talked about some other plays. Let me know you've made some money. Let people know either how much you made or the percentages you made by posting online. I'd really appreciate it. And by the way, of course, are you enjoying the show? Please let me know by your comments on Facebook. Just say, hey, I like the show. Say I'm crazy. Whatever it is that you want, it doesn't really matter. I know I went the other day to my doctor, and he told me he listened to the show, and he prescribed a sedative before I even walked in. Hey, if you're a first-time listener or viewer, please, again, tune in every day at 7:30, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. Hey, did you order my book? Go order my book. Go to BarnesandNoble.com and go to Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse, and you can order it there. Hey, Paul says that he made 35% on his money since he's been listening to this show. That is super fantastic. All right, I want to thank all the listeners on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia, and I want to thank you for your continued support. If you're enjoying the show, please reach out and let us know. You can leave comments on the WWDB fan page and look for us online. My name is Larry Steinhouse, and I am the host of Money Chat Now. And of course, from time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed in this show, and the opinions discussed in this show is solely mine. Have a profitable day.